Hi everybody, and welcome to our lesson tonight. So our lesson tonight is going to be focused on California's drought and the situation that we are in right now. Throughout my presentation, I'm going to be giving you guys, a lecture about the drought, but I also want you guys to be paying close attention to the pictures that I post in these slides, because the pictures will also be telling another part of the lecture, which is a very important part. I want you guys to, look at the pictures and visualize, the events that are happening throughout our state. For example, this very first picture that we see right now, it's a no swimming sign, and obviously there's no water in the back of it, right? That kind of tells you that, there used to be a lake here, a little river, a little stream, something. But what happened? It means that, it all dried up, and because of the drought. Okay, so these are some opening questions that I want you guys to, start thinking about, as we progress through our lecture tonight. What is the drought? So what is it? Why is it important to learn about the drought, and how is it affecting our environment? Also this picture, tells a whole lot about it, food grows where water flows. Obviously there's no water flowing through here, which means, we can't grow food. So today's schedule. So this is the schedule of what today's lecture is going to look like. So I'm going to start off by explaining the drought. Then I'm going to talk about, what it's doing to our environment. Then I'm going to talk about how communities are affected and what the state of California is currently doing to help us out with the drought. And our final, thoughts about the lecture are going to be, what can you do to help and make a change? So what is it? What is drought, and why are we talking about it? So drought is usually referred to a dry and hot place. There are some parts of California where the weather is really dry and really hot, and a little rainfall is coming. It's also a place that will suffer long and dry seasons. There are many places in the state of California where that is currently happening. We are having long dry seasons, and even some seasons such as winter, where it's usually supposed to be cold and rainy, it's actually being hot. Like right now, a normal temperature for the fall, it's starting to become cloudy, colder, but right now it's actually hot. And what is that doing? That is making a lot of our rivers and lakes dry up, and we're starting to lose water, and that is something that's been happening for about 4 years now. It's not something that we recently started, but it's something that's been going on for a long time. And again, I want you guys to pay close attention to this picture that I posted here. It says, "No diving from bridge." I would say this sign was posted about 5 years ago. And somebody posted it because there used to be a big, river. But now, as you can see from the picture, it's all dried up. So our environment and the drought. So what is the drought doing to our environment? Most of the water that our state uses goes to help out, farming communities. So without water, vegetable and fruit fields are being dried up because there's no irrigation to, help them support the growing of fruits and vegetables. Also, water levels and lakes and rivers are going down. Rivers and lakes are starting to dry up because there's no rain coming to fill them up. Another problem that's happening is called land sinking. So land sinking is when too much water is being pumped up from the ground because we use freshwater wells to maintain, certain communities and give them water. So as we continue to pump and pump water from the ground is starting to sink. Another thing is that river animals are disappearing, such as salmon from rivers. So if there's no rivers, there's no salmon. So I want you guys to think about this scenario that I'm going to tell you guys right now. Okay? Imagine yourself going on a nice summer camping trip to the lake with your family. The lake looks great and the water levels are perfect for swimming and riding boats. The next year you come back and the water levels have gone down. You notice more dry spots around that were filled with water that year before. What is going on, you think to yourself? What is going on? So one year you go to the lake and it's really fresh and there's a lot of water everywhere and you enjoy it. The next year you come back and the water levels have gone down, you notice some dry spots. What is going on? So as the year continues, the lake is starting to dry up. And since there's no rain coming, then the lake is just continuing to dry and dry up. Usually, on a usual year, with all the rain that we get, lakes and rivers tend to fill up and become stronger and beautiful and have big loads of water coming in and out of it. Okay? When we're in a drought and there's no rain coming, the rain is not going to be filling up these rivers and lakes. They're just going to start to dry up and dry up and dry up as time passes. Actually, locally here there's a lake called Lake Lopez, and in the past that I've gone with my family, it's been really, really filled with water. I went recently, just like 2 months ago, and there are some spots that are dried up. And I would walk around the lake and I would think to myself, what is going on here? These places used to be filled up with water. I remember swimming in these, places of the lake. Now they're closed. Now it's just dried up. Now it's just mud and sand, and it's starting to dry up. So these are places that are being affected by drought. Lakes and rivers. So how are communities affected? How are communities being affected by, this dry weather and the drought? Okay, so water wells and reservoirs are nearly dry. This means that, the wells that we use to get our fresh water supplies are becoming to dry up. Also, small communities have few residents that can't pay for water supplies because they can't be charged anymore. So, for example, little communities with, little citizens, the amount of citizens that live in these communities, they're not making, they can't charge their residents more money to be paying for fresh water supplies. And also, no water can lead to less farming. As we can see in this picture, and I want you guys to pay close attention to it, we see a farm field. Completely dry. You can look at the sand, it's really dried up. Our state provides the most water to these farming communities so that irrigation systems can be set up so that we can water our fields. Without water, with this drought right now, some fields are starting to suffer. Some fields are going completely dried because there's just no water to irrigate them. Because our demand for water for the citizens is more stronger than we can supply right now. So some communities, just these farming communities, they're becoming really dried. So what is California doing? What is our state doing right now to help us out? So first of all, there's this process called desalination. So desalination is a process in which we get water from the ocean, clean it, and then use it to supply the city's water supply. So that is like the end result that we get. Also, we have campaigns. There's a bunch of campaigns going on right now, and I think you're seeing these around your town, your school, your community. Some include water conservation. So I've seen these around my city. They're posted in buses. There's a big advertisements around the town that say, please conserve water, and here are some methods and to help out. Also, there are some laws that have been installed already and initiated by the cities, such as a ban on watering the lawn. So we see some lawns being completely dried up. We see brown lawns because they're just not enough water to help support the amount of water that goes on to watering our lawns. Some citizens have just, sprayed a little bit of water in the lawns just to keep it like green and, fresh. Some cities have said, no, we cannot be doing that. And also, I've noticed these when I'm driving on the road. There are some signs that say, serious drought, help save water. So these are just the state's way of reaching out to their citizens and saying, you know what, California residents, we are in a serious drought. Please help us save water, because saving water is one of the most important things that we can do right now. So what can you do to help? One of the biggest things is water conservation. So here I listed some important tips, to help you out. So one of the biggest tips is, taking less time showering. If you usually spend 10 minutes showering, you could spend, approximately 6. Turn off your water while you're brushing your teeth. When you're brushing your teeth, in between brushing, turn off the water. The same thing with washing the dishes. While you're soaping the dishes, turn off the water. Don't water the lawn for too long. Use a car wash instead of washing the car at home. And this is my big question for you guys, which I want you guys to write it down, and we'll have a class discussion about it. Can you think of other ways that we can help conserve water? So go ahead and write those down, and we'll share them tomorrow in class. Here are some articles that I found interesting as part of further learning. So here are some, some articles that I found that, might be useful for you guys to, read, take a look at. It could also help you out for your quiz, in relations to this PowerPoint presentation. So just go ahead and look at them. They will teach you about the drought and ways to conserve water. These are really great and current articles from the Los Angeles Times, which are perfect for you guys to read. And here are the resources that I used for completing my PowerPoint presentation. So I want to thank you guys again for, paying attention and for being a part of my class. Thank you.